Today we are going to review the Olympiad Champs book for class 7 science, and this book is published by Disha publications. And as you can see, the first very important thing is that this book has chapter wise previous 10-year Olympiad questions. Actually, there is a mistake over here. It should be 2012 to 2022. Overall, total 11-year questions. I will show it to you later on. So, what are the unique things present? Let's talk about it. Okay, so this is how the book works. Now, in the preface, they have mentioned that the questions are designed so as to test the knowledge, comprehension, evaluation, analytical, and application skills. This is the purpose of this book. Okay, and they have done this in a very nice and comprehensive way. Okay, now before I proceed, let me talk a little bit more about this. So, there are overall 18 chapters, and before starting the chapters they have already given 5-year questions, Olympiad questions over here. Again, chapter wise questions and level wise questions. So what's level wise? As you can see mentioned over here, there are two levels. Questions have been categorized in two levels: level 1, which is beginner level, and level 2, which is the advanced level. Okay, good. Now, let's see the chapters. So, however, one very important thing is that when they are saying previous year Olympiad questions, there is no mention of which type of Olympiad, whether this is NSO Olympiad or Silver Zone Olympiad or any other Olympiad. No mention is there. Just Olympiad question, the year that has been mentioned. Okay, fine. Now, let's start. So this is how the chapter looks like. This is first we have the questions. So 5-year hot Olympiad or HOTS questions, you can say. You see the chapter starts, and then there is level 1, level 2 question, and they have not given the solutions immediately, which is good for practice. The solutions you will find later on after the end of this particular subpart. So here you will see hints and solutions. Nice solutions are there. Okay, next is 2018 and 19 Olympiad questions. In the second part, in this, first we have 20 to 22 questions. Next, 18 and 19 Olympiad questions. There is no level wise discrimination of the questions, no level wise, just chapter and questions, and also few questions compared to the previous case. Well, only 2-year questions, of course, that's why fewer questions. Okay, now let's start with the very first chapter. Let me show you how this book is organized. Okay, so the first we have, let me show you again the contents. So this book is entirely according to the NCRT book. At least there are 18 chapters in the NCRT class 7 science book. Now 18 chapters in the book before the rationalization. Okay, so they have maintained that stuff before the rationalization. They are closely following. So 18 chapters closely related to the NCRT book. So in a way, this very book can be used for revision of NCRT physics. You can use this as a notes book along with a book which has got competency type questions, very inquisitive type questions, questions which are rarely covered in most of the textbook, very application oriented questions. Okay, so let me first talk about physics. So there are overall 5 chapters in physics, again 4 chapters in chemistry, and rest EVS and biology, more or less. No. So let's see how this chapter, physics, first chapter, motion and time, how they have managed to write this entire chapter. So the very first thing you notice is the learning objectives. Basically, this tells you what is coming, what you will be studying in this entire chapter, a very brief summary. Next, you see we have introduction, slow and fast motion, again rest and motion, distance and displacement concept. Very simple language with figures, although the font size is somewhat small, but it is not very uncomfortable at all. This is quite good. And black and white, entire thing is written over here. And overall there are 332 pages in this entire book, so the coverage is quite exhaustive. Let me show you. So this side is the text, this side is some important notes or factual description parts. Okay, next is type of speed. Okay, again odometer. Okay, then class 7 we have got distance time graph introduction. The graphs are introduced formally in mathematics in class 8, but in physics you will find this in class 7. Okay, then measurement of time, then again simple pendulum. Okay, and after the end of this chapter, so how many pages the chapter has been covered? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 7 pages. Not bad, quite brief. Entire stuff follows closely to NCERT physics. And then we have a very brief but good concept map or mind map. Next we have the level 1 questions, which are quite easy, basically divided into MCQ category. Okay, and you will see things like this. You see, critical thinking, this question requires. This is critical thinking, this is a somewhat tricky question. See 2012, this question. So basically the book coverage is not from 13 but 2012 to 22. 2012 is mentioned. Okay. Next we have figure based questions. So no, next is match the column. So in level 1 we have first MCQ, next match the column, next figure based question. This is very important. Figure based questions. You see, very nice questions are there. In fact, if you compare the class 9 textbook NCERT, you will find similar questions over there. So this stuff is somewhat closely related to the 9th chapter on motion. You see some very interesting questions, figure based, on the distance time graph. Next, so how many questions in level 1? See, 55 questions. Lots of questions. Next is level 2 questions. Again, first is MCQ type questions. Again, critical thinking type questions are also included, although quite few. Next is match the column, and then statement based questions you will find along with diagrams. Very good questions. So overall 42 questions. So 55 plus 42, so approximately you can say 100 questions in a chapter. So this is how the entire chapter looks like. And then we have the hints and solutions. Okay, although the hints and solutions are quite brief. Now next is the chapter on heat. Similarly to the first chapter, again this chapter has been covered in 1 2 3 4 5 pages. Again the concept map, followed by the level questions. One very important point is that first we have the chapter brief summary or whatever you are going to learn, then the entire notes closely related to CBSE, and then you have a brief concept map but no point wise revision. So revision part is absent in this book. And then we have the level 1 and level 2 questions. let me see some other chapters. Okay, this chapter, chemistry chapter, physical and chemical changes. You see, the pictures are also there. Examples of chemical changes. You see, facts, figures, very nice representation of facts. And then we have a brief concept map. You can see the concept map looks like this over here. Next, level questions. Then hints and solutions. Let me, yeah, a biology chapter. Let me show you. Okay, so let me talk about this chapter, nutrition in plants. So, learning objectives. Then you see diagrams, visual appeal, introduction, modes of nutrition in plants, photosynthesis. Again, nice diagrams, very good flowchart type diagram to make students understand. Again, sections of a leaf figure. Okay, you see more pictures to give visual appeal. Symbiosis or mutualism. Okay, sometimes they have also given keywords over there and then followed by, so keywords and then the concept map over here you will find again. So in this biology chapter, how many questions are there? In level 1 we have 50 questions, and in level 2 how many questions? Approximately 46. Again 90 questions, 100 questions roughly. Fine. So this is a very good book. I will recommend it to you, all the students. So good.